Hey, I'm back, and today I'm going to um, go more in depth about the relationship with your mom. And if you're like me, a relentless pursuit of trying to gain her attention, her approval, and everything. And hopefully, you've realized by now it doesn't have anything to do with you. You were conditioned and raised to feel ashamed that you were not accepted, you weren't loved, you weren't good enough, whatever it was. That's how you were raised to believe that it was your fault, and it's not. So hopefully you will shed the shame, because you know what? It was never yours to begin with. But what I want you to do, as I've had to do, is that I learned to I flipped the script. I was always told by my mom, especially, she was the first person that was always talking about either it was something to make me feel less than or not good enough. And as early as I can remember, I don't know, when do we start shedding teeth? I would say probably about five, about maybe about 4.5, 5, right? And I remember that I didn't have my two front teeth. I had shed them, right? And so, I was fine with that. And of course, my mom brought it to my attention. And she brought it to my attention because I remember it was picture day. And she said, I want you to smile like this. And I was like, She said, smile like this. And that let me know that there was something wrong with my smile. It wasn't good enough. So later on, when my permanent teeth came in, I had a gap. And I was more than likely going to have that gap. Especially on my dad's side, gaps were prominent. I mean, that was part of our heritage or whatever. But I became so self-conscious about that gap in between my teeth, and hearing constant criticism about how I looked, from my mom, didn't make me accept myself. Of course, when I got older, I put attention on things such as wanting to make sure I corrected my smile. And ironically, I've had braces and everything since then. And my retainer, I remember I had lost my retainer. And so my dentist asked me, noticed that my gap was coming back, but it wasn't, as large as it was before. And she asked me, did I want to, take steps to correct it? And I said, no, I'm fine. And that's what I learned to do. I learned to embrace the unique qualities about me. My mom has always been a follower, always, going along to get along. But what I realized now, she wasn't even happy then, because at least I did, and the rest of my siblings as well. I don't know if they're going to admit to it, and that's not my business, because guess what? I don't need that validation. Damn it, I was there, and I know what I experienced and what I witnessed. She wasn't happy. What the people outside, they saw something totally different than what we saw. And there was somebody who wasn't happy, someone who was miserable, and and wreaked a lot of havoc, because she wasn't happy on the inside. And that's one of the things what we have to realize, is that we can't give what we don't have. And that's what I've come to accept, and what I know about my mom. She didn't have that love for herself, so she couldn't give it to me. So one thing again, I've learned that I've been set apart. I am. I'm different. I'm very, very different from my mom. I am outspoken. I take chances. I'm very ambitious. And my mom, I guess that annoyed her, that I wanted to know things, and when things didn't look right or didn't sit right, I would ask about it, or I would make comments. And I would hear comments about, from aunts and whatever, and uncles, oh, I'm too grown, I'm too this, I'm that. Is it that, or you have a problem with the source of the comment? And that's another thing I want to bring to your attention. I want you to consider the source of your criticism. That person who has been shaming you, the person who has been speaking negative things about you, that first person, that was your mom. So I'm reminded each time, a dear friend, she always says this. She said, what you starve, what you refuse to feed cannot grow. So a lot of times, what you probably haven't realized, you've been giving your mom that power that she has over your life. You've given her power. You've given her control. And you know what? That's just not a healthy thing. I mean, think about it. How has it been working out for you? How's that been working out? And I tell my children this all the time. And I tell them this. I said, this pertains to me as well. Anyone that you give total control, that you are hopelessly devoted to, that you rely on their approval, you know, everything is subjected to whether or not they think it's yay or nay. That person is going to mishandle it every time. And not only that, if that person sees that they can manipulate you, they can control you, and they can make you do whatever they want to do, they're going to mishandle it and they're going to use it to your detriment every single time. Every single time. So you have to be careful who you are giving that power to. And let's be honest, if you're giving a person that type of power and control of your life, guess who your God is? Yeah, your mom is your God. And nobody should have that type of power. No. And yeah, she was in charge of your life at first when you were a child, but you're grown now. At least if this video found you, at least I've marked it that it is not for children. It's not intended for children. So my target and intended audience are grown-ups. Grown-ups. So you are in charge of your adult life. You have the control. God did not put her in charge of your life. So hopefully you will recognize that there is power in you, because you know what? Your mom recognizes it. A lot of times these people around us, they recognize in us what we don't recognize. You are special. You are set apart. Embrace that shit. Love it. Go after what you want. Be passionate about what you want. Stop looking for others for validation. Who are they? Who are they? The people that have the most things to say, they often want to divert the attention away from them. They don't have shit going on with them. They will not take the chances that you take. I've heard it all my life. Oh, you're always doing this. You just don't stick to one thing. And what do? What do you stick to? Besides gossiping, besides critiquing or sitting on the sidelines, waiting or else making a common remark. Well, if it was me, I would have done this way. Well, it's never you. It's never you. It's always you in the audience. We all know those types of people. The best coaches are sitting on their couches. Man, if they had done this and done this, they could. And most of them have never been on a court nor a football field, but they know how to coach a game. They haven't even done little league, even coached children. So, again, I said that we have to realize that look for the good in your rejection, because in that rejection is God's protection. God set you apart for a reason. You're not meant to blend in. You're not meant to try to fit in. So I'm probably going to tell my age. I'm thinking of this example. And there was this toy that we had, and you probably had it. You probably purchased it for your kids or something. But it was a round circle. and it had different geometric shapes cut out, right? And one of them was like a square, a triangle, a rectangle, and a circle, different shapes, right? And it, helping to develop the skills of a child, the motor skills and everything. And the child would have to figure out how to fit, each shape in properly. And so imagine, and you probably have witnessed a child trying to fit that circle into that square. And you knew, probably from your own experience, because you probably played with it, but it doesn't fit. And it won't fit. And you're watching that child, and that child becomes so frustrated because it's just trying to force that toy inside of the wrong shape. And that's what you're doing by trying to gain the approval of your mom. And your mom, you know what, when it comes down to it, she doesn't approve of herself. So she cannot give you what she doesn't have. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So like for my mom, she doesn't have that love for herself. She doesn't have that approval. So there's no reason for me to keep running on that hamster wheel, trying to chase it. I'm not going to get it. And you know what? It's taken a long time, but you know what? I'm okay with that. It took a lot of healing, a lot of classes, and I'm going to give a shameless plug on one of the classes that really changed my life. And she's on several platforms, and she's on YouTube. Her name is Jennifer Arnese. And Jennifer Arnese has a platform and podcast called The Black Mother Wound. And I first heard about her through my personal healer, A. Nicole. She's on here as well. And she was holding a class, and Jennifer spoke to us, and she was explaining about how the relationship with our mom, it bleeds over, blends over to all of our other relationships. And she spoke with so much authenticity about her own troubled relationship with her mom and how it took her years to get to a point to understand that not only was she not going to receive it, but it was no longer for her to be chasing it. God had other plans for her. And she offers a class called Resolve, and I definitely recommend it for anyone who is struggling for that. Invest in yourself. It is one of the best decisions that I made. And, I'm looking over my notes to see if there's anything I could have possibly left out. But again, I will say that, learn to look for the positive, because there's positivity in every situation. You're set apart, act like it. You are powerful. And guess what? The people around you, they know it. They know it. Act like it. Act like it. Stop giving attention, because you know what? You are giving power to whatever it is that is not worth your attention. Until next time.